Hi everybody, welcome very much to the channel once again. Esoteric Cloud Surfer here, and today we are going to talk about the balance between the North Node and the South Node. Thank you for watching, leave a like and subscribe, and use the links down below to catch me live on Twitch, playing video games, and also more of my spirituality and astrology content using the links down below. If you don't know what the North Node and the South Node are, I have a full playlist talking about the North Node, the South Node, and all the alignments. So go check that out and get yourself informed. So, what is to talk about the balance of the North Node and the South Node? So, the North Node indicates where you are growing or what you have to do to grow spiritually. The South Node represents where you came from and what you already learned and accumulated early in this lifetime or in previous lifetimes. So basically the North Node is where you are going, and the South Node represents where you came from. Okay? But looking at that, it's like, okay, but why it's so important to have a balance on those two, right? Because it's all about spending too much time in one of those directions will be negative for you, right? Because spending too much time on your North Node energy, it will make you a bit paranoid, it will make you stressed out and nervous a lot, it will make you more cold, more rigid, and your heart can turn into stone. If you spend too much time in your South Node, you can get stuck, too comfortable, you can get rooted in a place and then it's hard for you to move on, you can get distracted, you can get eluded, and you can get too passive, too open, too kind, too much satisfied without achieving a goal, without growing, without changing, and then you become toxic because your spirit wants to change. The only thing constant in the universe is change. Variety is the spice of life. We all created before a lot of sayings and perspectives to tell us that change is always happening and it's constant, right? So if you, as a vehicle in your mind, emotions, and body, is stuck in a place, but your spirit wants to move and you are being resistant, your spirit will create scenarios, circumstances, feelings, and emotions to make you pissed or rebel against that situation. But if you don't recognize it and if you don't use that in the right way, you just become toxic to others because you spend too much time in the same water basically, and it becomes stale, full of bacteria and germs, right? So it's very important to achieve a balance point between your North Node and your South Node, right? You grow, you expand, you go through uncomfortability, you go through nervousness, you go through not knowing, not being sure if things will work out, North Node. And then you come back to your South Node to relax, to rest, to feel more safe, to feel a bit more happy, to feel a bit more joyful, to regenerate and rejuvenate, right? But now that I talked about rejuvenate and regrow or rest, you can also do that on the North Node, but it's more in a spiritual sense. South Node is more like resting emotionally, calming down your mind, calming down your anxiety, calming down your body. But North Node is actually calming down your spirit. Because you as a spirit, if you are the right spirit, if you are focusing on the right things, you want to grow. You want to expand. You want to be aware of more stuff, and you want to be capable of doing more stuff, right? So if you spend too much time without doing that, your spirit will stress. So when you go to your North Node, it hurts physically, but it regenerates your spirit. Your spirit gains more will and more frequency to exist. Because if you don't grow, if you don't change and improve, there is no point of existing, so your spirit just wants to go back to not existing, not being in a thing, not being in the world, just go back to be a spirit, no shape, no form, no body, no intention, no nothing, right? And then on the South Node, your spirit hurts a little bit, right? Because it's like stuck or can't go too much forward, but its creations and the spirits that are working with it, they feel better and relaxed to help your spirit. And keep in mind, your spirit also likes a south node, right? Your spirit just doesn't like to spend too much time in there, right? Because we, or humans, struggle with not knowing, with the unknown, right? It's actually very common in media, and it's also very common in even academical studies, and as common knowledge that humans are afraid of change and humans are afraid of the unknown. That's actually a great example because spirits are not. Spirits love the unknown. Spirits love change. Spirits love to go to a space where they've never been before. Because that's what we do. We love to create and expand and explore and experience things that we never experienced before. So North Node is really the spiritual side and South Node is really like the human, earthly, flesh side, right? But in the end of the day, like I said, your spirit also likes the South Node. It just likes the North Node a little bit better, right? So if you want to really grow, you have to do both. You can't just be spending all your time on the South on your North Node, because then you become too cold-hearted, you become a bit disconnected, you become a bit too harsh on yourself and others. And you don't want to spend too much time on the South Node, because then you become too sweet and you're rotten, you know what I'm saying? And you become slow, sluggish, always thinking about the past, afraid of the future, right? So yeah, exactly. I just remember to a point, which is humans or humans' mentalities, they are afraid of change and progress and being unknown or being in the unknown space. But spirits love that, right? But in this experience, we are both. We are the spirit, we are always your spirit, your unique space, your unique awareness, but we created a mentality, emotions, feelings, and the body. So we are both. You are not the body, you are the spirit in the body. But because we are in the body, we kind of committed, we compromised, we contracted ourselves to this experience. Contract, getting smaller. That's why when you make a contract, you are limiting your possibilities, because you only can do those things, or you can't do things outside of that contract, right? So you are limiting your experience. That's what we did. We came from all possibilities to experience specific possibilities that we wanted as a spirit, right? So in order to continue that process, we need to be in the balance point of our North Node and South Node. Because too much North Node, no satisfaction. And also, I forgot to mention that, but South Node, or when you come back to the South Node, is great to like evaluate, measure your progress. Because if you don't know where you came from, you can't really know where you are going, right? So imagine you came from the jungle, just an example. And now as you're walking, you start to get colder, right? You're starting to step on snow and some mud. So now you know that you are entering an Arctic region, for an example. So because you were on the jungle before, you know you are in a different area. You know, if you don't go to your South Node often, you can't evaluate your progress. You can't know where you are going because you have nothing to contrast and compare before, you know? So it's really, really important to maintain the balance of North Node and South Node, right? Go for uncomfortable, unknowingly, and nervous situations, and then come back to something that you know, something that's familiar and pleasurable. And look, some people and some spirits, they find pleasure in going out there through weird situations, through tough situations, through nervous, inducing, and unfamiliar situations. But in the end of the day, your animalistic natures and your human nature will always prefer stability, privacy, comfort, something that reminds you of your childhood, for an example. So you have to satisfy both, because as a spirit you created those human natures and you are responsible for them. You can just let them go, and you know you have to take care of them as well. So North Node, taking care of your spirit. South Node, taking care of the animalistic natures that you created and attracted to help you create and maintain this physical experience and mental perspective, right? So remember to do both to grow in totality, because if not, you just grow in one direction and there is no point in that. Okay, so thank you for watching. Your support is greatly appreciated. Leave a like and subscribe. Use the links down below to get in contact with me for booking, readings, services, and personal consultations. I wish you the best thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions, a whole bunch of individuality, creativity, and responsibility as well. Believe in yourself, believe in all possibilities, and remember, the best way to be is to be your goddamn self. See you soon.